Well, hello everyone. I am out on the walk on a trail very close to home this afternoon. It's a trail that goes up a pretty steep hill with a few waterfalls along the way and some nice views over the valley on the top. So the plan is just to walk a loop around here and just see what I can see. And this is my point for this video, is how you should plan for a photography trip, how you should plan for a shoot, or rather, how you shouldn't. I hope you can hear me all right, because the stream is just raging right by me. We've had some pretty heavy snowfalls those past couple of weeks, and now the temperatures are up quite a lot, which means that the snow is melting fast. So let me explain what I mean by that when I say that you shouldn't plan for a trip. I mean you shouldn't plan for a specific photo or a specific view. I mean you should plan for a hike. You should plan for an outing, but not for a photo. More than anything, what I think is important is to take your time. Clearly here, it's a scene that I didn't expect. I didn't even know this small waterfall existed. So just to walk you through it, what do I like about this specific location? Well, the running water. I really like the color of the moss on the rocks, so I definitely want to show this in the scene as well. Okay, so here is the composition I got. I'm really enjoying those two rocks that kind of lead you in the scene, and also those two boulders that balance each other in the frame. I might need a bit of fine-tuning. So now we found ourselves a subject, a composition. We'll still have quite a few things to decide, choices to make. Do I want to go black and white or color? Well, I said I enjoy the green on the rocks, so I think I'm going to stick to color. Do I want to go for a long shutter speed or not? Well, it's quite a busy scene with a lot of rocks, a lot of trunks and pieces of wood in the water. I think I want to make it as simple as possible. I like to remove clutter in my images to bring a sense of calm. So I'm going to go for a 1 minute exposure. Okay, so I moved a little further away from the stream so that the noise is not so much of an issue for recording. First image in the box. To get back to what I was saying, I tend to look through maps, through Instagram, for great views, for potentially images that have already been made, and oftentimes it just leads to disappointment because you go to a location that you don't know, you just rush to that one view you have in mind, and if you don't get the right light conditions or the right weather, or maybe you're just too late and you don't get there in time, you might come back with no results at all. When if you had done the same walk and you had just paid attention to what was in front of you the whole way, you might have stopped before for a less obvious shot, but that matches the atmosphere of the day. And I think that makes all of the difference, because then you're able to make the most out of what you have, and it really makes you progress and get better. Okay, so I've walked only a few hundred meters and I found another little scene. This time the stream is kind of doing a zigzag through a narrow gorge, and it has these beautiful slats of rocks that really nicely catch the light of this overcast day. So let me show you what I'm up to. So what I'm doing here is very different. First off, I went for a vertical composition because I want to see the water going through the scene. I'm not using a circular polarizer because it takes off the glare from the rocks and it basically ruins the whole texture of them, and that's the first thing that caught my eye. And I'm actually going for a shorter exposure time because it is a very, very simple scene, and if I remove all of the texture in the water, it's almost too empty, so I want to keep some of that texture. So, 2 images in the bag already. That's not bad at all, especially considering the fact that I walked like only maybe 2 Ks from the car. And I guess I'm proving my point here because I know there are some much bigger waterfalls and more impressive stuff to see further upstream, but I didn't set the goal of photographing them. I just set myself the goal of coming here for a walk and keep my eyes open along the way. That's exactly what I'm doing, and it's paying off. I have 2 decent images in my book. So what I'm trying to say is, if you're planning on going somewhere, instead of looking for potential views, just get yourself a hiking guidebook or look on your favorite hiking app what trails are around. And usually you'll find a concentration of trails in areas where there's some interest. And then just set yourself the goal of walking and keeping your eyes open. Well, another great demonstration of what I was saying, because I hope you can hear me, but I'm right next to one of the main waterfalls here, and I'm struggling to find any kind of composition, so I'm really glad I stopped on those previous locations for those 2 photographs. Here's a little tricky passage, using some ropes, avoid us falling off in the river. It's very slippery. I just passed by one of the main waterfalls on this trail, and I mean, it's beautiful. And I did find one composition that would work really well with the waterfall in the background and a couple of rocks, submerged rocks in the foreground. Unfortunately, I think with the recent storms we had, a big tree fell in the middle, and it's kind of blocking the view and making the composition very messy. So I didn't take a picture there, but I'm definitely keeping that in mind. Maybe one day I'll come and that tree will be gone, taken away by another storm, and it would make for a very good photo. Okay, we got another beast. That one's impressive. Damn. Man, look at this. It must be like at least 20 meters tall. And it's raging. Wow. All right, let's go have a closer look. Okay, so I'm getting away from this monster of a waterfall because it's spraying all over the place. And well, same problem as the previous one where I found a pretty cool composition, but like all of the fallen trees and branches in the way make for a very messy shot. So again, good composition, but wrong day. I did take an image and I shot this one handheld, zooming in to get just the violence of the water falling at the bottom against the foreground rock. It looks okay. Probably gonna go for a black and white on this one because, again, remove some of the distractions, keep it to the essentials of the rock, the water falling, and yeah, I'll let you see the image yourself. Okay, so I've just found yet another waterfall. That one's like right off the trail, and it's really beautiful. I'm trying to make an image out of it, and then I think I'll stop here for today because it's already starting to get quite dark. I'll show you what I'm up to. Okay, so I'm going back to some very similar settings to my first shot, smoothing out that water because there's quite a lot going on in the scene. The waterfall is quite far, so I'm zooming in quite a bit to about 25 mils, so equivalent to 50 millimeters on full frame. And yeah, it's working quite well. This one's definitely going to be a color shot because this vivid green is beautiful. Well, with this last image in the box, I think it's time to go back down to my car. First off, my video camera is nearly out of battery, and also it's starting to get quite dark. And I just want to say that it doesn't mean that you can never go out with a particular image in mind. I do that, especially when it's a location that you know, that you've been to before, and that you studied to know which condition it's going to be good in. And if it's close enough to your home, or if you're in the area for a while and you check the weather forecast and you actually get the conditions, then yeah, for sure, go ahead. And it might be an easy shoot. But when it's the first time visiting a location, so typically when you're traveling, I would really advise to just aim for hikes, for walks, enjoy the outdoors and see what you can make along the way. And I think today was perfect proof for that, because in the end, I'm not coming back with any grand vista of the main waterfalls, again, because of those branches. But I know that I can come back after a few storms have passed and cleared all of those branches and trunks away, and I will be able to make those images. But because I was not focused on those, I was able to take the time to explore everything else. And I really opened up my eyes to the smaller scenes and I've actually made some images that I'm quite happy with. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see what not to do, the exact opposite of what I just advised you to do, then go see my previous video. I go out with a specific view in mind, an image in mind, and nothing goes right, and I miss out on other images and come back with, well, stuff that I'm not happy with. So I should follow my own advice sometimes. All right, see you around. I think we're gonna get wet.